Thank you, Elle. Well, Lisa Peterson, you are the Division I chair this year. Very exciting. Let's get right to it. Texas as a #1 seed. I think looking at the bracket, a lot of people could have made a case for Stanford in that position. How did you evaluate that?
Well, there was a lot of debate, and to say that we talked about it more than once would be an understatement. It was definitely one of the biggest discussions that we had, and I think what it came down to was Texas had to play 3 tournament teams to get to the Big 12 championship, and how they're playing lately. So that was a really big factor in what we chose for that. But again, it was very highly debated conversation.
The injury issue is kind of a fascinating topic. You look at Virginia Tech with Liz Kitley, we don't know her availability. Notre Dame's in a similar situation. How did you evaluate injuries and the impact on teams and where they should be seated?
Well, 2 different situations. We were able to see what Virginia Tech was like without Kitley. We're not, again, like you said, we don't know what her injury status is, but we saw how they played when she wasn't available, which was a little bit different, than Notre Dame and some of the other teams. So we seeded based on what we saw specifically at the end. And you can tell if you look at the bracket, a lot of it is how teams are playing now. Like that was kind of what the committee really valued going into this bracketing process.
What have you done for me lately, Janet Jackson? Yeah, so the other thing I'm looking at the bracket, looking at the competitive balance. You always talk about competitive balance, but I'm sure LSU, Iowa, and UCLA are salty right now, like, okay, our region is really hard. How did that region play out?
Well, so I'll remind everyone, when it comes to the bracketing principles, when you have 4 teams from the same conference that are seeded in the first 4 lines, they have to be in different regionals. And so the other thing that we try to do is to stay as true to the S-curve as possible. So I know that you only see the first 4 C's in rank order, but when we're putting that bracket together, we are trying to stay as true to the S. But remember, because you had Southern California, because you had Stanford, and because you had UCLA, Oregon State on that 3 line only had 1 place to go.
All right, great information. Thank you so much, Lisa Peterson. And let's have a lot of fun in March. A lot of great brackets, and let's fill them out and see who wins.